If you're not getting what you want in your relationships, it's not because you don't deserve it. It's because you don't know your worth. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to heal your feminine energy by having high standards, by acting in high self-worth. When we don't know our worth and when we're chasing after others, over-explaining ourselves to others, begging others to validate us, we are wounding our own feminine energy. And our feminine energy is actually what attracts things to us. So by constantly chasing after everything and begging and forcing and manipulating situations, you're not allowing your divine feminine to come in and attract those blessings in an effortless way. That's why your relationships feel so hard, because you're forcing it instead of letting it come to you. Being confident has nothing to do with how you feel or what you're thinking. It has everything to do with how you're actually acting. The point of being confident is to act in a way that allows us to feel confident. The feelings and the thoughts don't come first. The actions come first. First, you decide what you're worth, you decide what you want in your relationships, and then you act in that way. And from there, you build up the emotions of confidence because you consistently prove to yourself that you are worthy. But if you're constantly waiting to feel confident before you're able to actually show up in a confident way, it's never going to happen. You're going to stay stuck in that negative cycle because you need to make the first move. You're not going to wait for reality to tell you to change. You're the one that needs to tell reality to change. According to psychology, most transformations are going to take 3 to 6 months to start generating new results in your life. Basically, it's going to take you 3 to 6 months of reprogramming and changing your behavior before you actually start to feel different and before you start to automatically manifest different results into your life. So the good news is you don't have to change how you feel. You don't have to control every single thought that comes into your head. All you have to do is decide how you're going to act and act in that way. It's that simple. Let me give you an example of how you're going to actively heal your feminine energy by having higher standards and having higher self-worth. Let's say that you notice somebody is consistently making promises to you, but then they're not following through with their promises. They always have some excuse or some situation. They're not able to follow through on the things that they tell you. And now it's become a pattern. It didn't just happen one time randomly. It's happening over and over and over again. And you feel insecure about it. It's making you feel bad about yourself, even though this is a behavior that someone else needs to work on. So this is how you handle it with high self-worth. The first step is to clarify what you desire out of the situation. How does this make you feel about yourself? What do you desire in this relationship? What is the end goal result that you crave? In this case, you crave somebody that's going to follow through with their word. You crave a relationship where it's equal mutual respect, where one person says they're going to do something and they do it, and the other person says they're going to do something and they also do it. Do you see how I did not go into victim mindset? A lot of people would see that situation and they would automatically say, oh, I just wish they respected me. I just wish they validated me. I just wish they appreciated me. When you have high self-worth, you understand that it's not optional for people to respect you. It's not a matter of, do they appreciate me or do they not appreciate me? That should never be a question in your mind. The real question is, am I going to be able to come to an understanding that's going to work for both of us so we can stay together? We'll find out. That's the real question. Because it's not a matter of whether they respect you or not. It's a matter of whether you guys are compatible or not. You are no longer taking things personally. You are just seeing it for what it is and figuring out a way to move forward that's beneficial for you. So when we're clarifying our desire for the outcome, we're not going to say, oh, we just want them to respect us. We just want them to validate us. No. What is the specific behavior that you desire them to do? What is the specific situation that you want? Not a feeling, not an emotion, not an I hope they respect me, because that's not an option. Of course they respect you, and most importantly, you respect you. So even if they decide not to, you will remove yourself from that situation if you have to. So that's why it's not even a question as to whether or not they're going to appreciate you. The reason people continue staying in situations where they constantly feel disrespected is because they're making it optional. I used to feel unvalidated, unappreciated, disrespected all the time in my relationships. In my relationships with my family, with my friends, with my romantic partners. It was always that way. I was always the one doing more and just never getting anything in return. It wasn't until I switched my mindset where I decided that it's not optional for people to validate me. You're either going to be a person that adds to my life and has a mutual exchange of energy, or you're not going to be in my life, period. There's no optional. There's no, oh, I like them, but they don't respect me. That doesn't exist in my vocabulary anymore. And believe it or not, now I don't experience those situations, or if I do, it's just a very small amount, enough for me to see what's going on and remove myself. I don't get myself in these situations where I've spent years, months, even weeks in a relationship just to feel unappreciated, because that's not a way to live life. So in the example that I gave you, where someone is showing a pattern that they're not following through and they're breaking promises to you, once you clarify what you actually want out of the situation, then you have to validate yourself. You have to affirm to yourself that how you feel is valid. The main issue I see with people setting boundaries and not being able to step in their divine feminine energy is that they don't validate themselves. They're not sure if how they're feeling is valid. And so they allow disrespect for so long, over and over and over again, because they're just confused as to what to do. So you need to be the one to validate yourself and say, yeah, how I feel is valid. It is totally reasonable for me to want a relationship with someone where they respond to me, where they follow through, where they reach out to me, where they give me their energy as well. That is perfectly reasonable for me to ask for, and I absolutely deserve to have what I want. You're no longer going to question whether or not it's okay that you feel this way. You're just simply going to validate yourself and say, yes, it's okay that I feel this way. It is understandable as to why I would feel this way, and I absolutely deserve to get what I want. From there, the last step and the most crucial step in being able to heal your feminine energy through having high self-esteem is to act on what you're deciding. So if you've decided the outcome that you want from the situation, you want them to show up and follow through on their word, you don't want anyone in your life that's not going to follow through, and you've validated how you feel, now you have to be willing to stand on your worth. You have to be willing to act on it. So what does this actually look like? Well, maybe in this situation, you can communicate to the person how you feel and what you desire from the situation. Or maybe this means walking away from a situation where you've already communicated to them how you feel and what you desire, and they still don't want to do it. Most of the time, standing on your worth means being able to walk away from something that's not serving you. Because the more that you stay and the more that you argue with people and try to beg them and force them, remember, that's not our divine feminine. That's our wounded feminine. We're begging and hoping that they respect us instead of commanding respect through our energy and through our self-esteem. Never, ever, ever lower your standards just because someone else is getting upset. It's like trying to discipline a child and they're throwing a tantrum, and then you give them what they want because you just don't want to see them throwing a tantrum. In the long run, it's going to make your life more difficult as a parent, and it's going to make their life more difficult because they're not learning basic boundaries and respect for others. So now they're going to become a person who oversteps other people's boundaries. That's why a lot of people have grown up to act in this way, because their parents didn't teach them boundaries, or they taught them things in a very volatile, aggressive way instead of teaching them principles and morals. So people don't understand how to behave. Most people are not evil and outright trying to ruin other people's lives. A lot of the times, they have their own problems and they're just projecting that onto the world. So when someone is a boundary pusher, it is your responsibility to set them straight. Because by you being firm in your boundaries and saying, hey, like, that's cute, but that's not gonna work here because we have high self-esteem and we expect respect, the more that they experience that, they're going to be forced to change. You don't have to feel confident all the time. You don't have to say all the perfect things or do all the perfect things. All you have to do is know who you are. Know that you are a goddess, you are a queen, you are a princess, you are a siren, you are that girl. And you absolutely deserve to have what you want, but you have to give it to yourself first. If you cannot give it to yourself, no one else can give it to you. As much as I'm able to help you, give you advice, all of my ebooks, all of my courses, my affirmations, my coaching, I can do all these things to help guide you in the right direction. But you have to be the one to decide it and give it to yourself, or else nothing is going to change. I love you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments your key takeaways and what videos you want to see next, and share this with your girlfriends so they can level up too, okay? I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah. If you want to stop chasing and start attracting, Positive Affirmations card deck contains over 150 powerful messages that will help you heal, grow, and attract everything that you desire. Go to shopaffirmations.com to start your transformation.